do the usual sort of team news roll call. How is everyone looking? And anyone back? Anyone else out?
Well, I hope they're not feeling sorry for themselves. That's the last thing you need. We won't know. Ollie's on the grass, so, and what that means is he will be joining in fully today, and we don't know if he's going to feel anything or not. He's done an awful lot of work this week. He's a week ahead of schedule, which is typical him. And if he was fit in any way, he would be definitely added to the squad. I've made some changes to the squad itself. I brought in Jackson, Brown and Botan Amin. I'm going to be resting one or two of the others who've been involved in these last two games, physically and mentally, I feel. I think the 10-men effort and then losing the penalty shootout in the way that we did, and then having that game so quickly after, letting a goal in and then another one straight after, is had a terrible effect on the group, as you could see. Luckily, the second half saved us a bit. Could have gone on and been 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, you never know, as it was, the mentality of that. So I've looked at absolutely everything. There's ways that I will help them. And I'm looking forward to implementing that today, because I know how I feel about things. We had 59% possession, lost 4-0. So I've got to try and simplify things, and I will. Now I know everybody. And that's why I'm making some changes. There'll be changes to the team, and there'll be changes to what we're doing. And I think it'll help us make least mistakes. And if I can explain to you, we're deep in a hole now. And the deeper you get, the longer the ladder is that you need to find to climb out. Luckily, the ladder's still easily long enough. But the hole is black. And it's a lot blacker than it was the other day. We almost climbed out with 10 men. We'd have had Liverpool. And the lads saw that. So that would have hurt even more. I know how deflating it was when penalty number 1 saved, penalty number 2 saved. We scored penalty number 3, penalty number 4. Oh, I could see them go like a bouncy castle down, and that's just human. It's being human. But what we got to do is leave our egos at the door. Forget about that. We are the worst team in the division at the minute. And that's happened on my watch. We weren't when I first came here, and now we are. So no problem. Let's deal with it. And we got a plan that's going to have to work. It's going to have to be worked at. It's going to have to look a bit different than we were, because the secret to insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get different results. And I'm going to need some help in the window. But in the meantime, I'm going to give these lads some strength that my experience allows me to think calmly in a time like this. So, yes, it's horrible, but what a fantastic opportunity to show the true grit that we have inside us. Some of them don't even know they've got it yet, by the way, what's happening to them. But my job is to support them through that. And I will need outside support. And that's already being looked at. But the truth of it is, I need a place where the lads can come and feel safe, even when they're failing. And that needs to be our home ground. I don't know what it's going to feel like after we lost to Morecambe. But a lot of that Morecambe game I was very pleased with. It might sound weird, but we let 2 crazy goals in. Almost looked like they froze. And then we were brave and we played, made a substitution, and he was brave and he made a difference. And then we got back level within 4 minutes. The disappointing thing was we still let one in at the end. So we've ended up with disappointment every time we almost got out, we almost climbed out. And that should give you more belief that you will get there, but I'm not sure it has. So that's me being brutally honest. You've asked me one question, I've gone on. But I'd like to share my thoughts, particularly with our fans. Someone in the garage said, oh, the majority of us still like you. I went, oh, thanks a lot, yeah. Cheers. You know, the majority. But that's why I am where I am in the arena that I'm in, and I feel alive there. So I will not stop trying to make this better, and I will simplify what they do, and I will make sure that they have a way of failing in their half, not ours. We're becoming too predictable. Ryan's mistake was forced by them because it's so obvious what we're trying to do, and it's really difficult. So there's some things that I can switch and change. And I want to put pressure on their back line, not ours. And sometimes it's about looking at what you're doing, and it's about explaining it. And also the availability that I've got now. I'm going to put some legs in my team who can run and chase, who will die to run and chase instead of worry about passing. I think that'll make a huge difference in this division. And hopefully we can turn it around. But I guarantee you, I need Swindon fans, the ones who went up the other night, please come again. Please don't judge us on this. We're going to get out of this, but we're going to get out of it together. And that's what I'm living for now. It's what I'm alive for. And I genuinely, totally and utterly believe it'll be tough. There'll be some ups and downs, but I believe we can do it.
I may be reading things in here that get wrong, but when you've got a squad that it feels like it's put together to play a passing game and play a passing style, how difficult is it to get them to adapt if you want to do things differently? Because it sounds like you're going to do things differently.
No, it's not just how you start it. We're very predictable, you know. If we got a goal kick and now we're starting, you know. And what you can't be, we've got analysts who show us everything and see everything, so they'll be doing that to us. And if there's a weakness because we're looking a little bit, well, why let them get that advantage on you? Am I stupid? I'm not that stupid, but it's about how I say it. And everybody gives me magnificent credit for playing the football that I played at Blackpool. It was disguised long ball. It was disguised long ball. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bang, on a diagonal, had quick people, big people who could win headers. So what I'm saying, I got to find a way with this lot to make sure that I can simplify. Boom. I can't teach them what I taught the Blackpool lads straight away and right now. I haven't got the characters that I had then. And this is very different, so I have to refit like a tailor. Actually, hang on a minute, what can I do here with these? And you could say, that's 4 weeks he's been there and the results have got worse. Well, hang on a minute, things have happened. They almost didn't, they almost could have done. And we've lost our captain for 3 weeks. Luckily, it's only 3. He might be back now. Look at Man City. They've lost Rodri. Couldn't win a game. It's amazing what one person can do. Colchester the other night, they had 2 of their players back, Aurora, Edwards and Big Tovaday. And look what that did to them. And as their manager said, I haven't coached them any different. That's just what those 2 bring with the pace and with the power. And unfortunately, they were, after a long game on the Saturday, we couldn't live with that, could we? On top of the mistakes. So for me, yes, they do care. They really do care. But what I got to do is make sure, as their manager, this is achievable. This is what we're going to do. And as long as it suits these lot, and I believe it does, we have some chance of progressing. Can't wait for the window to open because I might then bring some cavalry in who've got a different mindset.
What are the sort of skills that you need in terms of both kind of pointing out what they can't continue to do, but yet sort of building the players up at the same time and trying to get that belief back in them?
It's not very different. It really isn't. It really isn't. We know where their goal is. And for us, my football's quite simple, really. I've always had it in a simple way. We've got to stop them scoring. We're not doing very well at that, are we? They get a free kick, they get a corner. We get a throw in at their end, and then within 7 seconds, they've scored in our net. And people ran past him. They were so worried about getting back, they actually ran past him, didn't bother tackling him. All you had to do was make a 2v1 on him then. One of our centre-halves, 2 of them run straight past him, so he squared it to the other bloke and he scored. It's just, I know where it's coming from. It's coming out of, oh God, they don't think straight. So I'm going to give them some things that they can do with their eyes shut, they don't even have to think about. But we'll have enough bodies around there to actually win it back, put pressure on them, cause them a problem, and then we can play from there. It makes things an awful lot simpler. So I know what I'm doing. They'll know by the end of today what I'm doing. They'll see how simple, and then we just got to go out and practice it, and that's all I can say. And I know I can do it because of the people that I've got here.
How much are you looking forward to going up against Charlie Adam, who you know so well from Blackpool?
Me and Charlie will always be best buddies. We live through all sorts of things together. That's what I do with my team and my players. That's why I very, very rarely want to criticise them. I had to apologise to our fans the other day because I don't think that was my team. I don't know why they were so nervous and worried, but you know, at the end of the day, you've driven all that way and you're 4-0 down at half time. I thought our fans were brilliant for even staying. You know, believe me. Luckily, the second half we drew. Right, the ones who came on, when I looked at what they did and the minutes that they'd only used, so sometimes you got to look at all of those things. But I'm looking at Charlie. We lived through some hells together. It might not feel that way, but I'm very proud of how he looks at me. He lost his father, and he looks at me in the same way that he used to look at him, and that makes me really proud. And whatever anybody takes that I've said or twists what I've said and has an opinion on it that isn't the same as my opinion, then that's fine. That's what life does. But I know in my heart how my players feel about me. And that's why I've done this job, and that's why I'm loving doing this one right now, because these lads need my help. And that's what they're going to get again from me on Saturday. Even if it goes wrong, I'm going to help them as much as I can with every sinew of my body, and it won't be destructive criticism. People do that in football grounds. I will not allow that. I will not allow that in this environment. Some of them have been destructing each other with the way that they've reacted to what's gone wrong. So they do care. I'm not allowing that either. That is not acceptable. You should always end on a positive. Come on, you can do better than that, but I believe in you. Come on, we need you. Just that little addition of that thing makes the group totally strong. This group is nowhere near where it needs to be on a mental front. And I can understand it, but I'm not accepting it. And I will do what I can to make sure that I improve that. A few wins would help, but we've got to earn the right to do that. And even when we were 3-0 up a few months ago, playing brilliantly, that game nearly slipped out of our hands. 3-2, Cheltenham. Thumping win against Bristol Rovers, then you had that one, and then where's it all gone again?
Last one point, I think you talked about showing the players the kind of Colchester first half. Do you hope that, in a sense, you might not have to stay very much? An ideal world, would it almost be...
That's how I felt.
The players kind
No.
of...
That's how I felt on the time.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that today. What I will do is show them how I believe we can improve what we did, not be so predictable, not try the same things over and over again, even if you've lost confidence. Because people know what you're doing. And I can see it. And they were chasing and they nearly caught us a few times, and then it affects everybody. So, nah. We can learn some new things very quickly, and I think it'll help us. And it's only a very slight twist, and it's not anything rocket science-y. It's just, lads, here we go. Did we work their back line enough? How long did we take to get to their back line, and did we work their back line enough? No, we didn't. They blocked every single goddamn cross we had because they had full numbers back there. We took too long to get there. There was no runs in behind. There was no looking in behind. We were, that seems our safety valve. Good job we can do that, because against 10 men, with 10 men, we did it really well. And we needed to, otherwise we'd have given the ball away all the time. We'd have been chasing it. So there's massive plus for the fact that we can do it. But what we also need is to turn the tables on them every now and again and make sure that their lads are being under pressure and having to try and play out and having to try and get there. So that's where we're going. And let's hope we can see a difference. That's all I'm trying to do is make that difference. And at the minute I haven't. And it's in the league. It's absolutely horrendous. You know? But just imagine how you'd feel if you're there, you're up the top of the ladder now. You were down the bottom. You were one down. You were gone to 10 men in the FA Cup. You've turned it around. You've missed a penalty as well in that game. Their goalie saved the penalty. So we're still only 2-1 up with 93 minutes to go. And then bang. And then you got another 20 minutes. I got to change the whole team almost because some of them aren't fit enough to play that long. Grant would have got injured. Delaney would have got injured. Do you know what I mean? So just imagine how that is, and I know it because I've seen it and I've felt it and they're there, but, you know, I don't blame people. I will never blame people. If they need a rocket, I'll give it to them. Sometimes it'll be in front of the group, sometimes it'll be private, but at the end of the day, what we have to do is work on a group mentality. And the last manager knew that this group didn't have the right mentality. He was going to bring someone in. So that will be part of it. But my job is to make sure they understand what I want them to do.
Good luck.
Thank you. It's a hell of a challenge.
What do you feel like is the most important thing you need to get them to learn in between now and Saturday?
If you feel anxious or nervous at something that has happened recently to you over and over again, you have to accept that. There is nothing wrong with fear. It's a natural emotion. But you have to do it anyway. So you have to accept that. If your ego's not right, if you're not ready to be losing, or you're used to losing, we've signed 4 or 5 players who came from relegation battles last year. We were in a relegation battle till the end of the season last year. So they're used to this feeling, and it's not good. But we've got an awful lot of people with that, you know. So what you've got to try and do is change that thought process. But for me, I've lived through all of those feelings. And it's like being a gladiator. Footballer is a lot easier than being a gladiator because you don't die at the end of the day. You're always awake tomorrow. Thank God for that. But that gladiator's got a sword or whatever else he's got, and he might not survive. So I see our lads going in that arena with the sword, carrying this wonderful chainmail that they're going to throw around someone, and they're brave and everybody's cheering, and all of a sudden we're tripping over the chainmail, stabbing ourselves in the throat at the moment. And that's how I see us. And that's what I can change, because you have to be free with yourself and say, hang on a minute. And when you read up about fear, fear is a safety valve to protect you. And it's a very, very strong emotion. And what it does sometimes, it shuts other things down. It makes you not be able to move. And that explains why they look like statues on corners or something. Nothing explains why Will ran over and pushed our own player and made him edit in his own net. I can't work that one out. Did you see the goal? What are you doing, Will? It's not even your job. But it happened. I can't wait to ask him. I've watched it back. Will, what are you doing? Harry was going to edit, and you pushed him and he made it edit in his own net. There was nobody there. What are you doing? And I believe because of that one, then Ryan then got cool. But because we're trying to play all the time, oh, you go and press them and, whoa, hang on. If he'd have wrapped his foot round that and played it out of danger, it might have only been one. So all of these things, you know, and what I have done, I've lived through all of these. I've been relegated, I've been promoted, I've been mediocre in the middle of tables, I've been expected to do things. Most of the time I was an underdog, but boy, oh boy, are we the underdogs now. Boy, oh boy, if you're a betting person, they'll be betting the others are winning, we're not. Oh, here we go. What a wonderful opportunity for us to show what we really, truly are. And if I haven't got enough of them, I've still got a window to deal with. It's not a good window. People look where we are, do they want to come? But I hope to prove that wrong. And what I need is some cavalry riding in here to add to the group with the football that they can do, to make sure that we have the right balance. And that's what I want our fans to understand. And I'm responsible. And I feel comfortable about admitting that I'm responsible. And I'm really pleased at this minute in time that I have had all these years' experience to be able to come back in and feel like I do today, ready to try and make a difference for them. Because boy, doesn't it look like they need some. What I don't want is going in there on Saturday, someone to make a mistake, then everybody started moaning at them, because that ain't going to be an easy place to be in the next 4 or 5 games before we bring anyone else in. Hopefully Ollie Clark will be back, because Ollie is a proper man who's lived through ups and downs. And he's been in promotions. And I think every step he makes, our fans understand what I'm trying to... I want my team to look the way he plays. On the front foot, after people, gets under people, gets after that. And when you haven't got that in your team, and he's injured, it can be very, very tough for the other ones. If you look at Will Wright, what a wonderful gentleman, absolutely wonderful person, who can play some beautiful, wonderful football. The other side of his game, the second division side of his game, needs to sort out a little bit sometimes. That physical side of it. He's got the athleticism, but has he got that, woo? So I've got to find a way to make him fit and make him feel more confident. And I'm confident I can do it. Have I got everything in the building? No. We've got one window. Let's try and sort that out. But that's how I'm looking at things. And I need some help for our lads on the weekend. If they don't deserve it, fine. If they're scared as kittens, give them a rollicking. But if they're trying as hard as they possibly can, then please help feel as positive as I do about it. That's all I ask. And I will try and turn this around. Long term. And short term. The short term's hurting the long term here. Really is. So all those things that are built up over the years is long term dissatisfaction. Now we're, oh, look at us, we're worse than we've ever been. Oh my God. I can tell you we shouldn't have been. With the budget, we shouldn't have been. So I'm not blaming anybody. I am trying to rectify this with people that I've had help me over the years with recruitment. And if I can get some people to believe that this place is good enough and ready to help them, then I can make a difference. What I'm trying to do is also make a difference to this group right now who are struggling because of what's happened. And it was a Nats didgeridoo off of almost being right, and that is also a thing of terrible disappointment. So I want to get rid of all of that, and I can accept where we are, and I can accept any fear that they show, because it's a natural thing. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Honestly. But the analogy I gave you, I gave them after the game the other night, because I feel that's, if you look at the 2 first goals, one of them's because we're predictable. They knew they could press Ryan and catch him after he's played God knows how many minutes and how many games after being out for 5 months. So do I blame Ryan? No. But that didn't help us, did it? Not in any way, shape or form. The second one, 2 minutes after that. How's it go? Well, my job's to pick them all up, start putting them together again. Imagine it, a pack of cards. Hang on. How big can I make this? And how well can we go? And do you know what? However many times it falls over, I'm going to be fixing it until it looks nice and shiny. And I need some help. Every job's different. And when's the right time to give up? Never. Winston Churchill. Never. I won't let this lot give up. Not like they did the other night in first half. Never will I let them. So I'm going to make some changes, going to freshen it up, and let's see what we can do again, and I can't wait, and that's the gospel truth.
Like you said when Jeff King left, if you're looking for players to come in January, you're likely to have to make room for them with one or two moving out.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I don't want as many as I got who aren't playing, but I've seen them all now. And it's all about, are you also, not what you do, but what part of the group are you? Are you a positive part of that group? Are you a negative part of that group? How well can you run? How fast are you? Not just how good you are. You might be my best player, but you don't run and you don't help and you don't encourage the others, so you might have to go. But that's for me to look at. And that's for me to explain to them. But at the end of the day, what I've got to try and do is make everybody feel supported, cared for, and loved, even if they're going to go. And I swear to you, if you ask anybody in my management over however long the years have been, not one of them felt that I didn't treat them with total and utter respect. And that's what being a manager is all about. To the people who don't know it, the people who sit there and judge you on scores and this and that, and you can twist that whichever way you want. It suits. You're allowed to do your opinion, but at the end of the day, I know deep down that managing these lads is my life, and I'm absolutely loving every minute of it. And some of them need a little bit more love than others, and some of them just need the truth. Jeff got the truth from me, and he went with my blessing, because what a wonderful chap, what a wonderful person. And some of these will get that same message from me, but I will help them as much as I can. And that's the joy of, you can understand why I feel alive again, even when it goes wrong, because you find yourself when it goes wrong. And we are in a deep, dark, horrible place at the minute, and I have to be the light that shines on them to help them out. And if you ever see me look as down as I did the other night, you're allowed to slap me in the face. I didn't want to criticise them. I could not protect them after that. There's losing, and there's the way you lose. And we lost that after those mistakes because of the other things that have happened, I believe. We didn't take what we should have took out of that game, and I should have looked at 120 minutes, and I started Ryan again. I'm asking myself why. After that, I wanted to try and say, well done last Saturday. That's why. He already had a run left. It was only 2 days later, and I felt for it. So I'm also accountable. And that's what we're going to be. I need the fans to understand, if they're being held account, please help me when you come along, try and create a better atmosphere than we've got here at the minute. Right? Because it don't feel very good. And life's about a feeling. And winning is about a feeling and an anticipation of a positive outcome. So I get why the fans don't get it, but we've got to start something going. And we need to do it now, not wait for the window and not blame everybody else here. So that's what my job is today. I've answered all your questions. Can't wait to go and see them. Can't wait to tell them this new tweak that I think will really suit all of them. I'm sure some will be disappointed because they might not be involved when they thought they might, but I don't care about that. They'll have to deal with it, because my eyes have told me that they're either overtired or didn't do it very well, and I'm going to bring these in. There you go, with a freshness. Hopefully that'll be enough to get us back on the right track.
Fair enough.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, because one more just really about the window. I know that the main point being it's still 6 games away, so yeah, you can make the changes, but you've got 18 league points before then. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How are you balancing, planning for a window, changing the team, fixing what you've got to fix?
I'm totally concentrating on the team. I have, imagine the contacts I've got and agents, not just agents, but other football clubs, sending me lists and lists and lists of players coming from all around the world. And the stats that are, this is my player now because it's incredible. I am passing that over to people who I've worked with for years, who know exactly what I want. I've already told them.
So it's like you've got some extra consultancy.
And then, yeah, then, my scouting network I've had for years, I am asking them to come down a couple of notches and see if they can look at these people for me and help me with that. So that's happening right now.
Have you identified individuals yet, or is it still in the process?
It's in the process. They're going to do that for me, and they'll show me the best that they think that I would like, and they better all be available, otherwise I'll kill them, because I haven't got time to run down any foxholes and not find a fox.
The other point
Not find a rabbit.
the other point being that you presumably want them in early in the window as well. There's not really any use getting the player that you want on January 31st.
I keep saying to you, Man City without Rodri is massive. And Swindon without Ollie Clark is massive. Ask our fans. Who's the best tackler at the club? Who gets underneath people everywhere? Who breaks things up from opposition? Who wins us the ball back? Who never stops fighting? Who's brave as a lion? And we're missing him. I hate to say it. So, he'll be back. Hopefully, I'm going to go out there, see him run around all happy days. It was a tragedy. How he landed was unbelievable. Jumped up like a salmon, won it. Unbelievable. And then he rolled his ankle. And how honest I am with all of you, that turned to a complete joke. That did. So what I'm trying to say here, I can take all of this, this ain't a problem. So I'm hoping there'll be some fantastic news for me, but also what I'm going to show the lads and who I'm going to get to do it, I believe they can do it. Makes a hell of a difference. I'm not saying they don't believe that they can, but we've been getting no reward. We almost had the reward and it escaped. We were 3-0 up against Cheltenham and we almost threw it away. Even the game, one of the games we won. There's only been two, Bristol Rovers and Newport. Both 4-0, weren't they? The rest of it, oh my God. So I get it. What we got to try and do is keep going. And how many times have they actually totally and utterly failed the whole game? Jekyll and Hyde, innit? 1 minute you see us really going it with 10 men, happy days, here we go, we equalise against Gillingham. Wow. What a great feeling that was. So I get it. And all I'm imagining is we're going to be feeling like that soon. Feels a bit lonely at the moment, must admit.
You personally? Or
No, I feel like I'm the only one who's, all I want to do is have some fun. You heard that song? Yeah, Sheryl Crow, I think it is. I seem to be the only one who's still having fun and still believing, because I believe we have got all sorts of things in this building already that I can actually manipulate and help get better. But we do lack a balance of experience. Fully fit, fully ready to go experience. Grant Hall's experience, he's still on a knife edge because of how long he's been out. Delaney, come back, you know? So, Ollie Clark. I asked them all, what about your families? What about, I went down one whole side of the room the other day and none of them got a girlfriend or married. I went, my God, I'm not used to this, because I can pitch in, oh, what about your family? Who are you doing this for? I think 2 of them had kids. Wow. A lot of my teams have had kids, so I can go into that and hang on. Whoa. Every little bit, each little step we take, you got to pick up the good stuff, let the bad stuff go, and start again. And we got another, God knows how many to start. So the ladder's still long enough for us to climb out. But yes, it is a dark, horrible hole at the minute.